Half a day, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. The Committee on Education, Air Transportation, and Statistics Research and Planning will now convene this confirmation hearing. Today is November 7th, 2019, and it is currently 12:05. For the record, and in accordance with the Open Government Law, public notices were sent out via email to all senators, stakeholders, and all main media broadcasting outlets on October 30th, 2019, and the second notice on November 4th, 2019. Notice of today's public hearing was also available on the Guam Legislature website. With me today is our Minority Leader, Senator Will Castro. Senator, thank you for being here, and Senator Telena, thank you. We have with us on the agenda today the appointment of Nolan G.T. Flores to serve as a member of the Guam Public Library System Board of Directors, and the appointment of Nicole B. Nelson to serve as a member as the IT representative of the Guam Public System Board of Directors. We have, some of the names I can't understand the handwriting, but I see Mrs. Santos, Rowena, Linda Uggan, June Afflegui, Nicole Nelson, Nolan Flores, Hillary Flores, Kitachai Bernie, Kyle Mandapat, Mears, Richard Flores, and Marissa Mears. All right, thank you everyone for being here. I'd like to call Ms. Nelson and Mr. Flores forward. And so since this is we're on the same board, yeah, go ahead and have a seat up here. Since we're on the same board, we can do you guys at the same time, but if there's anyone that'd like to give testimony in favor of the two, please come forward. I'll address Ms. Santos first, and then Mr. Mandapat, and then we'll move forward with Mr. Flores' testimony, and then Ms. Nelson's, okay? Thank you. Ms. Santos, please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Vice Speaker Nelson and Senators of Iminat 35 na Legislatura ng Guam. My name is Arlene Santos, Acting Director of the Guam Public Library System. I come before you today to testify in support of Ms. Nicole Bordalio Nelson and Mr. Nolan Flores to become members of the Guam Public Library System Board. I have had and continue to have the opportunity to work with Ms. Nelson as Systems and Programming Administrator of the Office of Technology, Government of Guam. Ms. Nelson has demonstrated her knowledge, abilities, and skills in information technology. For people like me, whom I refer to as computer little bit, not computer literate, she has helped me improve my understanding of technology and my computer skills. She is one professional who is always willing to lend a hand and help employees at the workplace with their infotech issues. Her resume speaks of at least 8 years of employment experience in information technology and even lists working with Google. How impressive. She has been nominated to fill the Information Technology Representative as listed in 5 GCA, Section 80106, which lists the composition of the members of the board of the Guam Public Library System. Mr. Nolan Flores has been nominated to fill the student representative under that same law. Mr. Flores graduated from Southern High School in 2018 and received the auspicious award of valedictorian of his senior class. He currently is a student at the University of Guam pursuing a bachelor's degree in political science. He is a student intern right here at the legislature, gaining experience from the offices of Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes and Minority Leader Senator William Castro. Here are two young and energetic gubernatorial appointees who have given their express desire and commitment to help with the Guam Library System Board. They are esteemed and exceptional by their own educational credentials and work experience. Please give them a chance to help us revitalize the Guam Public Library System so that it can be a place where our children can grow their knowledge from the services we provide. I understand that all I have said already incorporated in the resumes of Ms. Nelson and Mr. Flores, along with the gubernatorial nomination and appointment information packet. I bring these out, however, to show that these two appointees are certainly going to be a great asset to the Guam Public Library System Board, and I earnestly and respectfully ask that you confirm them as soon as possible. Records show that the Guam Library System Board has been struggling to hold regular monthly meetings. The last time the board had a full complement of the mandated composition of 7 members was 2002. These 2 particular positions on the board have been vacant since 2010. Through the years, the Guam Public Library System's patronage has declined. There are so many things that we are working out right now to revitalize the Guam Public Library System that would require board ratification and/or support. In order that we move forward with the revitalization efforts, we would need to have an active board that will have enough members for a quorum so that they are able to have their official meetings monthly and take the necessary actions to move the Guam Public Library System forward. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to your favorable consideration and expeditious vote to confirm these astute and esteemed appointees to the Guam Public Library System Board. Sizus Maasi.
Thank you, Mrs. Santos. Mr. Mandapat?
Hafide, my name is Kyle Mandapat, and I'm here today as the chairman of the board for the Guam Public Library System. As we continue to move forward and make the changes, as Arlene was mentioning, in terms of bringing the library to the next level and to continuing the service that we provide to the children and the community here on our beautiful island, 2 very, very, very important parts of that puzzle and that plan moving forward are in the technology sector and in enticing some of our youth to continue to see the value in the services that we provide and in some of the resources that are available to them that don't include a tablet or Google. These 2 members and appointees will help us in those areas very much. As we continue to move forward, as I said, we've got a limited amount of members on our board as it stands, and we've been functioning with what I call minimum quorum, with just 4 members, which again is the absolute minimum that we would need to call quorum. And with these 2 new additions to the board, we'll be able to have a little bit more leeway and greater voice in these 2 sectors that I think are very important to the continued modernization of our agency and our group, along with the services that we provide. With Nolan being such a very, very strong voice in the youth community, all of his great service, all of his great volunteer work really lends to his legacy that he's already begun to build as one of the more passionate members of his age group and demographic. With him comes the youth and the energy and some of the new modern views that we'll be able to apply to our services and to some of the things that we're doing at the library that will help us to appeal more to the younger groups and to the future groups that'll be coming through to patronize our facilities. He has gone far beyond in terms of his volunteerism, and he's a part of several groups at UOG, and I have it on good authority from people who are just coming up to me, hearing that he's going to be a part of this or wants to be a part of this, who say he is a hard worker, and his resume proves that. So we look forward to working with him and with your support to continue, like I said, the evolution of our library system to incorporate some of the younger and more modern things that the youth and the children of today are now considering the norm that we in yesteryear call the future, right? Moving on to Ms. Nelson, her service to the government and to the people of Guam is well documented. She works in the information sector, as Arlene alluded to earlier on. And with that comes, like I said, another big chunk of our plan and of our roadmap to modernizing the library and our operations. There are so many things that we would like to do, so many things that we want to do in terms of increasing the technological footprint that we can have in people's lives with the e-books and some of the searchability that we could implement in terms of the entire library system and not just branch by branch. And we need an expert for that. And not only is she an expert, but she is an amazing person who has volunteered not only here on Guam, but also in Saipan with several elderly people out there, helping them to get the hang of the technology. My friend James Nelson is one of them, and we appreciate that. but she continues to show that spirit. And I think that overall, in terms of both of these nominees, the big thing that really draws me to them personally is their passion. Everything that they are passionate about, they have gone out and they have supported. They have helped that to excel. And I look forward to using their passion for the library and for the future and for the community and for technology, and using their passion for that to help us succeed as a group and as an island. Tangklo na si Diyos Masi, maraming salamat po, and God bless America.
Viva and Guam. Mr. Flores? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Buenas and half a day, Vice Speaker Nelson, Senador Castro, Senador Taidagui. Guaho si Nolan Flores. Si Diyos maasi for this opportunity to testify. Firstly, I'd like to share a bit about myself. It has been covered already, but I'll share it anyway. I'm a proud son of Guahan who was born and raised on this beautiful island. I'm a 2018 graduate of Southern High School, and I'm currently a sophomore at Universidad Guahan, majoring in political science. In both my time in high school and at the university, I've taken an interest in serving our island and our people. Throughout the years, I've been provided many great opportunities to organize and participate in various community events. Most recently, I was an intern of the Public Policy Institute with Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes and Minority Leader Senator Will Castro. It is through these events and experiences that I've realized my profound passion for the betterment of our island and our people. I hope to bring this same passion to the Guam for change. I hope to bring the same passion for change to the GPLS Board of Directors, and I hope to continue the outstanding work of the Guam Public Library System and all those who further its mission. I'd also like to congratulate the library on its 70 years of service to our people. Those 70 years stand as a true testament to the ever-important role of the library in providing quality information and positive experiences to our entire island. The library holds a special place in my heart. I have many fond memories of when my mother would bring me to the Dzotnya Library branch as a child. Today, as the needs of our people change, the library can and must remain the premier center of information on our island. This role as an information hub includes not only books, but technology, government information, the arts, culture, language, and all community knowledge. The library exists at the forefront of community engagement and has the potential to foster positive experiences among our youth and all our people, as well as play an active role in other government initiatives. Therefore, it is my goal to take my passion for my island, its people, and our future, and apply it to my work of advancing the goals of the Guam Public Library System to further grow this institution.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Ms. Nelson?
Good afternoon, Vice Speaker Nelson, Senator William Castro, and Senator Tello Taidagui. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. I'd also like to thank Governor Lulian Guerrero for my nomination to the Guam Public Library System Board of Directors. This is my first time to serve on a board, and I'm extremely honored to have received the nomination. I've been a patron of libraries in every city I've lived in since I was a young girl. I participated in youth reading and storytime programs, as well as took free computer classes offered at my local libraries. In college, I practically lived at the library doing homework and extensive research for projects, and it was the only place I could use a computer and access the internet for free until I was able to get my own laptop. It's safe to say that the library played a very important role in my life, and it can do the same for our youth, adults, and Manamco here at home. Many believe that technology will be the death of libraries, but I believe it is improving and reshaping the old libraries we know into modern technology institutions. As a board member, I vow to use my extensive background in IT to help implement modernization projects such as an ebook program, free computer and mobile device learning classes for both the youth and our Manamco, revamping our mobile book program, the creation of a GPLS mobile app, and a living books program using AR to bring stories and art to life through projection mapping. I believe these types of programs will help increase patronage at all library locations throughout our island. I look forward to working with my fellow board members and the GPLS team. Thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. I'd like to open it up to my colleagues for their questions first or comments. Minority Leader, Senator Castro.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. Vice Speaker, if I may just offer comments to each of the nominees, is that appropriate? Okay, thank you. Sa Diyos maasi po desino oportunidad put este na nominee na kandidato who supopotigwi sed malati este na lahi tunanas sen tunanas ikariranya zangai animo puri tautauta dani manielu ginashon tomorrow. I know Nolan. He's a fine young man. He's an excellent representative of his family, his university community, and Madam Vice Speaker, with no exception, a fine surrogate of the Democrat Party of Guam. I think on that note, again, notwithstanding the nonpartisan nature of the board, I think Nolan and I can agree on this, in the words of the late Senator Angel Santos, that our loyalty to the party ends where our loyalty to our people begins. And so you have my unqualified support, Nolan Flores. And it may be a bit premature, but if I may share an early congratulations on, I hope, the validation of your being elected as a representative of the University of Guam and a fine Democrat representative, that is, congratulations. Ms. Nelson, I had no idea who your father was. I am impressed with your technology background, and I'm actually very, very grateful to the administration for appointing someone with the technology skills that you have. I think with Nolan's passion, and I'm sure your shared affinity for our great Chamorro Nation, but more so to your technical capacity, it'll make for a happy marriage to move in the direction, as the chairman had stated, towards the evolution of the modern library, or as I like to see it, an evolving learning technology center. I think eventually we can move into the direction where we can capture our people's intellectual property that's generated from the people of Guam, of all ethnicities, whether it's digital or in writing, to be a part of this evolving library system. And young lady, with that said, having known who your father is and who my colleague is to you, I must also say that you're a great representation of a brilliant family and a very principled one at that. Senator Taitagui, you deserve some of that credit as well. Thank you, Madam Vice Speaker. I offer my unqualified support for these two nominees. Congratulations, and thank you for agreeing to serve the people of Guam.
Thank you, Senator Castro, Minority Leader. Senator Taitagui, do you have any comments or questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to thank everyone who's here today to support the nominees. This means a lot to individuals who are being up here today. It's nerve-wracking, and having you behind them is a great support, so I want you guys to know that. Mrs. Santos, thank you for pushing this board to get up and going, and I was really surprised about how long it's taken to get quorum, so I'm really happy that we're moving forward on this, and you definitely have a great group of people here. Mr. Chair, as Senator Castro mentioned earlier, I liked what you said, the evolution of the library. That was excellent word to be used. And that definitely describes on who you're putting onto this board, which is the next generation. And so, Mr. Flores, I was listening intently to Senator Castro's comments about you. He's actually worked with you before, and very impressive, very impressive. So I'm going to try and convince you later on to be a Republican. So get ready for that. I will talk to you after this. So you have my support as well. And thank you for stepping up to the plate. This is the beginning. You're studying political science, so I have a funny feeling Guam is going to know more about you in the future. But thank you for doing this. And for disclosure, I have to state that Nicole is my stepdaughter, well, was my stepdaughter, and I still continue to say she is my daughter, and we keep in touch. I've watched her grow. She was a young girl, And she's a major bookworm. People don't realize that. I mean, she likes soccer and all those other games. She likes to go driving a car. And it's a hidden joke. I taught her how to drive in the back roads of Windward Hills, safe, But she has been nothing more than just amazing. And I'm so proud to have had the opportunity to watch her grow. And I knew she was going into this direction, because she's so good at giving back, very good at giving back. And that's what she's doing here today. And I'm glad that you're here and going to serve. And, I have to tell you, you're overqualified. So I hope the board realizes that you have someone amazing on your team. I can't say enough about her ability, her honesty. And most especially her passion for the library, because I've watched her grow up being a bookworm. So this is exactly where she wanted to be, and she told me that. I said, you could probably go to any board you want to go to. Why the library? And she said, I've always been a bookworm. I love the library. So not only going into this, Mr. Chair and Mrs. Santos, she's going in with a lot of passion and heart. So you're going to get that as well as intelligence. But then again, I'm biased, right? So thank you so much again, and to you again, Mr. Flores. I'll be talking to you after this. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Taitagui. I'd like to thank those that came forward to give testimony on behalf of our two appointees. I'd like to thank the family of Mr. Flores and Ms. Nelson for being present today and showing their support. And I'd like to thank you for the willingness to serve, right? So some of the challenges we have at the library is funding. And so I'm going to need your help and the youth of, the energy that you have as a youth to advocate for library, because it's an essential part of our education system. And so hopefully I see you in the upcoming months going door to door to each senator's office saying, here's a plan, this is where we want to be in these certain phases, and we need this money. And explain to us how really it's going to impact the children. For many years, there's been some neglect with the Guam Public Library system since 2010, right? So now that we're looking in this avenue, a lot of us younger folks are starting to come forward and be willing to serve, then it's a great time to start advocating for these things. I do have some questions for you. What insight, Mr. Flores, we'll start with you first. What insight or skills do you have to offer to the Guam Public Library system?
So I've begun to familiarize myself with the library, as it has changed a bit since what I've known it. I've been working closely with Director Santos, and I definitely think I have the knowledge of the importance of education and this free space of information that our library provides, as well as knowledge on realizing how it can better promote the efforts of other government agencies, such as our cultural revitalization efforts, as well as language revitalization, other things we're trying to do on our island. Yeah.
Ms. Nelson?
I think that my background in IT, I've actually worked on book digitizing projects before, so that's one of the main projects I really want to help out with GPLS is an ebook program. And I've also worked on automation projects, which I think would help with various library projects. So,
Thank you. We also have extensions, right, in our villages of the library system. So those are areas we need to work in as well, because in some areas they're only open for a minimal amount of time because of the budget they receive. So, like I said, I'm going to need your help so that we can grow this, so that we can reach out to the community that in other villages, so that the students can start having longer hours to be in the library and better resources, because even the amount of books that are in there are very limited because of the lack of resources that the library is given from just as a whole in the appropriations process and allocations. What are some of the goals you have for the library?
Well, I definitely think the library needs to advertise itself really as this center of information for students, as well as even for me as a college student, having somewhere to study, even where it's not a cafe or what, somewhere where that information's right there to access. I know that there are efforts with the cafe going on to further just promote the library to the youth and show them that this is a place where you can come and learn. Yeah.
Yes, like he said, it's a great place for students to go, but also for like the marginalized who don't have access to internet, they can use it as an internet cafe, if you will. That way, you know, you can job search or you can take classes. That's another thing that I want to get heavily involved in too, is teaching our youth and our manamko how to use technology. And I think we can start out by offering like basic courses for free, as well as tutoring for students. So.
Thank you. I'm happy to recommend your appointment. I look forward to your confirmation by this body, and I'm going to ask my team if they can work extra hard to see if we can hear this on our November session so that we can get the library rolling. Our November session is next week, so we're going to have to do a little bit extra work, and hopefully I have the colleagues' support to try to move you guys forward. Congratulations, God willing, and I look forward to the work that you'll do for the Guam Public Library System. Once again, I'd like to thank you for your willingness to serve the community, and also to the family members of the both of you. Thank you for your continued support in them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Speaker.
Thank you, Mrs. Santos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Acting Director, Mrs. Santos. We now conclude. This exhausts all our items on the agenda for today. It is now 12:29 p.m. We will adjourn this confirmation hearing. Thank you, everyone. God bless.